What screams I'm uneducated? Treat anything they see in the social media as facts. A person who makes fun of someone else for knowing something that is covered in school. I've worked at a few different places doing manual labor and this type of behavior wasn't uncommon. I've always thought of this as being a pretty naked display of insecurity about one's own level of education. Had a look at the smart fella, read in a book. This loser knows how to read. Point and laugh at the literate dull. People who take the very first thing they hear about something and embed it in their heads and refuse to acknowledge that something could possibly be different than what they originally believed. Well, I have extensively researched the topic. I've seen like 5 YouTube videos and they all say the same. Coincidence? Think not. And then they try to get away with that's not the point. Were these 5 videos on the same channel? That's not the point. Putting the School of Hard Knocks in your profile. Studied at School of Hard Knocks. CEO at none of your business. Translation. Dropped out of high school and don't have a job that isn't selling weed once a month to my little brother and his friends. Play COD all day and punch walls. Parents don't have the balls to kick me out, even though I'm a degenerate. Somehow I'm not a virgin. Criticism of educated people. I was in a hospital this morning and was helped by 2 nurses. One was younger and had a nursing college degree. The other one was older and constantly kept telling the younger one, they don't teach you anything in college. You don't even know how to take blood pressure. Your degree is useless, isn't it? I know much more than you etc. I was sorry for the young kid. There is a famous astronaut from my country who announced he was considering running for politics. The man has a master's degree and was a colonel in the Air Force before being hired by NASA and achieving the rank of commander of the ICE. I remember talking to someone who said they didn't believe he would be qualified to be a politician. I pointed out his achievements and the counter argument I got was most of the people he is representing didn't graduate high school so they could support their families. Not true, by the way. The person I was arguing with suggested that the more educated you are, the less qualified you are to represent the people. It was very frustrating. People who think talking louder in an argument means you've won. You don't need to look for the uneducated person, you'll hear them coming, and pray for your eardrums. If two get into an argument, with both parties thinking shrieking louder means they've won, your poor ears are going to feel like glass is being jammed into them. I remember growing up our teachers/nuns telling us that empty vessels make the most noise. Now every time someone gets loud this saying pops into my head. So far this saying has been 100% accurate. Thinking you're the smartest around. On average, people who are smart don't think they know everything on a subject, while dumbasses think they do. Yeah, that's a big thing where I work. I work in a very niche industry where there aren't a lot of qualified people. There is this young guy who's been here like a year, or who thinks he's the industry expert, yet he messes up everything he touches, while the super genius Jesus guru who fixes anything just by looking at it is the most humble person you've ever known, and he freely admits, well, I've just failed enough times where I know what doesn't work, so I just try other things and learn from it. Being all or nothing. Not understanding that an issue can have many problems, many solutions and many facets. Not everything is black vs white or win vs lose. To not see shades of grey is a lack of abstract thinking. And wow, I feel like a judgmental douche for saying that. Using big words in the wrong context. Heard a gentleman say that a political party had a stigmatism about it rather than a stigma, and I didn't have the heart to correct him because it was abundantly clear that he's always right. Edit. I wear glasses for astigmatism. I was dying on the inside the whole time. A superior at my works says exercise in fruition when she clearly means exercise in futility. She's incredibly condescending, so I don't bother correcting her out of passive aggression. Having no interest in learning new things. The smartest people are always asking good questions and soaking up new ideas and facts. Having the bumper sticker that goes something like, my son beat up your honor student. I feel bad for their kids. I feel bad for them. I feel bad that anyone thinks it is cool/edgy/ or anything but plain old sad. Oof, I've never seen this before. What a massive cringe. People who argue with restaurant staff about what is on the menu. You can bet your sweet ass they behave that way. 25/8 367. Yes, I stand by those numbers. People who abuse wait staff aren't just dumb, they come off as the worst kind of vile and pathetic. They know that service staff have a duty to be nice to them, so deliberately F with them to fulfill God knows what inadequacy. People who brag about not reading. People who think that spending an hour on Google makes them an expert on a field. Spending an hour on Google makes them an expert on a field. I think it's worse when someone will not spend the hour searching something on Google then claim to be an expert, or even just claim to have a basic understanding. Challenging people to IQ contests. This guy was losing an argument on Facebook, and the other person stopped responding. So this guy had to say, "How dare you come at me? My IQ is 122. I asked him if he got his IQ results from a Facebook test. He did not answer. I don't have IQ results, but my granny once told me I was such a smart boy, so take that. People who don't consider the opposing side of an argument and care more about winning than truth or understanding. That's more of a character flaw than an education issue. People who consistently use logical fallacies to justify positions and opinions that they hold to. Also the opposite extreme. People who rely on misusing logical fallacy challenges in bad faith as well. Bad faith pseudo-intellectual arguing. Throwing as much jargon as possible without it actually applying until the other party just gives up. Then strutting around like you won. Putting horrible loud music on the bus or metro. My buddy was pumping gas the other day. This kid pulls up in an average car and parked at a pump. He runs into prepay, comes back out to pump, but before he does, has to lean in through his window and turn his absolute shit music up to maximum volume. I looked around and saw everyone's face cringe or become disgusted/annoyed. He then proceeds to pump his gas like has the coolest Mothra for alive. Don't be that kid. Everyone hates that kid. Someone who does something because it's the norm. Examples. Smart. I use an iPhone because I like them, and out of all phone interfaces it best suits me. Dumb. I use an iPhone because I don't want a shitty Android making me look broke. My boss said his iPhone was the best phone ever made. I asked him why. He paused and stuttered and said, "Do you know how much I paid for this?" Inability to understand there and there. I never understood why people don't seem to pick it up. My native language is French and the there rule seems pretty easy, even as a second language learning. You just need to take a second to think about the meaning of the word before writing the correct one. Agree. My native language is Spanish, and I never understood how native English speakers don't know the difference between there. Customer at work I spoke with, he told me underpopulation is the problem, not overpopulated. I told him it depends where you're going. Go to places like China and overpopulation is clearly the issue. Meanwhile places like Japan are having the exact opposite problem, in which they have less young people like me who want to do jobs like convenience store. It has gotten so bad. Places in Japan rely on robots and vending machines. He then went to me, underpopulation is the issue. If it weren't for you guys, who would take care of my generation? Robots. We'll build robots to wipe their asses. Using words in the wrong context. I never use big words to make myself sound more dodecahedron. I have a similar but different problem. I love reading. I was the kid reading books under her desk all through school. Just went through stacks of books a week. I had a dictionary in my room I would look up everything unfamiliar in, and a mom with a love for etymology who was always more than happy to explain. I have a large vocabulary, by which I mean I know the meaning of a lot of unusual words, but I frequently run into the problem of sounding just so dumb because I mispronounce things. It's super embarrassing, and it also tends to take me a while to get the actual pronunciation correct in my head because I've spent years saying it wrong inwardly. I've just stopped saying words I'm not sure of, which is frustrating because sometimes the meaning is perfect. Never make fun of someone for mispronouncing a word. It means they learned it through reading. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe.